Syndicate, 10 arrested, 3 killed in a shootout. That address was done by the Inspector General of Police himself. So it's been captured here on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. But, what's of interest to me as well is the politics and the optics, isn't it? The NDC jostling and, the questions over who might succeed President John Dramani Mahama. It looks like the Vice President, Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang, has been touring the Education Ministry and unveiling plans to boost STEM and higher education. Comes with a picture of the VIP and Haruna Iddrisu, who's featuring on a Global Info Analytics poll. But surprisingly, Haruna has decided to say, well, he's expectant that Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang will make a fine first female president of this republic.
I think that's
I know you guys are waiting.
I think that's a master class in politics.
To jump onto that one.
I think that's a master class in politics for Haruna to completely take the attention of himself. And put it on the vice president.
Maybe it's also it would depend when it comes to Haruna. A lot of things you want to look at a lot of things. Now, if the NPP elects Dr. Bawumia, and you're Haruna Iddrisu, you go like, well, it doesn't matter. I can get in there, and because
we're all from there.
We're all from the north. Unfortunately, that's how we've done it. Even though Haruna is from northern region and Dr. Bawumia is from northeast region.
Yeah.
But when John Mahama was launching the NDC's manifesto, he actually talked about how he was going to give certain sectors to the vice president. You remember those sectors?
Yeah, education was one of them.
Health.
Yeah.
So,
and
I ask
children and social
yes, I
protection.
ask the question: was it the vice president also who suggested to the president the people who should head those ministries?
Yeah, interesting one there.
Now, can I go on with my analysis? If the vice president was the one who suggested, is it the case that the vice president then suggested Haruna Iddrisu should be the education minister? And if Haruna Iddrisu as education minister, and currently per the Global Info Analytics, one that is leading the NDC poll, then whoever Haruna Iddrisu decides to back is on his or her way to winning the NDC slot. Is it also in Haruna's interest to, for instance, hide is not the right word, but probably stand behind Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang? Because by 2028, Haruna Iddrisu would be 58 years, and in Ghana we say you're a young man when you are 58.
At 58?
Yes, in Ghana we say you're a young man.
In Ghanaian politics.
We say you're a young man.
Yes.
So you have to look at it.
Our youthful president is in his 60s.
You have to look at it and say, okay, so is that how it may look like? Who are the power brokers behind Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang? Well, those within the NDC know that the same people who brought Professor Mills brought Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang. So in that case, the people behind her are very powerful. Can they get Haruna to do the trick by supporting Professor Naana Jane?
It's more of a dualist role for Haruna, isn't it? Looking at the fact that there have been pictures all over the place with him and Julius Debrah. I don't know if you've seen that as well. With some suggesting that, well, it's going to be an alliance between Julius and
the thing that we cannot lose sight of is how the party itself sees Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang. Right? They were very proud to put up the first female vice presidential candidate, or if first female to run on the ticket and become vice president. Twice they did that with Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang. But at the time she was originally chosen, right here on the Super Morning Show, we did some analysis. We talked about why the party felt that it was best at that time to have Professor Naana Jane come with John Mahama, who was seeking a return, right? Instead of having John Mahama pick someone who might look a lot more like his natural successor, right? Because the suggestion there was that John Mahama didn't want to immediately be a lame duck from the minute he won, right? He would want to be the center of power. So he would choose someone who would allow him to be that center of power. And he felt that Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang was the person to do that. But now Prof. Opoku-Agyemang is in the office of the vice president, and the office of the president is just down the hall. So you can imagine that at this point she's also thinking about her future. and whether or not she should make the transition, or whether she should continue to be the person who was chosen because she would not steal her boss's shine. You know?
Yeah. Question for the gods. Is Ghana ready for a first female president? And if so, will Professor Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang be the right pick?
Ghana is ready for anybody.
Okay. The very last story on the front page of the Daily Graphic before we go. Following evidence of compliance, GTech restores services to UCC. So that's some good news coming through there, Winston.
Yeah, let's get to the Daily Guide and come to the same story. I wonder,
what services
I'm
GTech
sure
provides?
because
GTech had actually decided that they're not going to process anything from UCC
because of the whole,
because of that whole thing. So now that they've complied,
they're restoring services.
The Daily Guide has the same story on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Police smash rural bank robbery syndicate. 3 killed, 10 arrested. Suspend U.S. deportation deal NPP MPs. AG seeks Supreme Court clarification on Tokonu removal. And minority blaster Blakwa over Gaza comment. Let's see what's on the back page of the Daily Guide. Okay, we can continue.
Yeah, indeed. I have the Daybreak here, Winston, talking about the concerns by the Ghana Armed Forces cracking down on returnee recruits. In fact, there's cash rewards for informants as well. Then there is the operation that has led to the arrest of some individuals who have been robbing rural banks. So it's captured here, Operation Cobra. That was led by the IGP as well. So he addressed the press briefing yesterday, pointing out how the Ghana Police Service busted rural bank robbers. 15 Eastern NPP MPs endorse Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I like the way, on every side, both opposition, the governing party, they are all jostling already to find who the next leader will be. And Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not left out. They just recently finished their vetting, which means that they are all on the lookout for which MPs will support or otherwise. But on that day, everyone has one vote, isn't it?
It's all a bit early, though, isn't it? Even for the NPP, honestly, I feel like it's all so early.
The NPP, you can understand. Now, the NPP currently has a gap when it comes to leadership. Even though the NPP's constitution says that the chairman is the leader of the party, and you saw it, the party affirmed that position even at the recent delegates conference. The challenge is that Nana Addo was too powerful that it looked like he was de facto the leader of the NPP, even though the chairman was. But all these chairmen, and we saw what happened even at the time when Freddie Blay became acting chairman. He said some party these things are better disobeyed than adhered to when people party executives were declaring their support to Nana Akufo-Addo. He said, certain things are better disobeyed than adhered to. But another was very powerful. So you even if you remember, you heard NPP people say in the build-up to 2024 election that Dr. Bawumia, the leader of the NPP, has never been leader of the NPP. He's always been the chairman. So because of that, the moment Nana Addo left, and the chairman, unfortunately, could not stamp his feet, couldn't stamp his authority on the party.
In fact, he's on break now,
yes,
isn't it?
The party started looking for someone they can rally around. The challenge is that you had people talking about the performance of Dr. Bawumia and the need for the party to go to early Congress. If that is the case, the National Council of the party believes that they should go. And so I think that now, I understand those who say, who supported the early Congress. Let them go to Congress. Once they are done with the Congress and they elect a flag bearer, all of these find X and what is X and all of that ends. Then because you need a credible opposition. I've seen Boache Jakon supporters say he's going to contest as national chairman. You've heard Paul Afuko saying because of how people are calling, he's actually considering. Why not? You need to have a strong opposition party.
Let's see how that.
And the NPP will need a strong, this thing. As for support here and there, my brother,
it's very normal.
It's normal. Look, everybody has one vote. The MPs can actually move with their followers. But this is what I've realized in all my years, covering politics. I know certain MPs who support certain candidates, but their candidate has been losing in their background. Do you know why? Because his loyalists tell him, I like you.
Yes, but I won't vote for.
But I won't vote for your
candidate. That's the sad part.
I know. I know. And if
Yeah,
anybody,
yeah.
I can always, bring out names.
And I think that's why they say fear delegates, isn't it?
No, because you see, no, I don't. If you ask me,
Yeah.
these members of parliament, to be very honest with you,
Yeah.
they should stop those things. Because the problem is that because you are MP doesn't necessarily mean that where you go would be
It's
where your
wherever,
delegates will go.
in the constituency.
Allow the party to elect a candidate.
Right.
Then all of you will throw your weight
weights,
behind
yeah.
that person.
Anyway,
say
15 we
Kuchu.
have in all. I see some pictures here. Kingsley Agyemang, Kujopo Nkrumah is here, and Salama Doejere MP is also here. And some more faces that, of course, will be fishing out in the coming days. Response to Mr. Bwahin Edu's commentary on the cocoa syndication reform is out. So grab a copy of the Daybreak newspaper where Dr. Brian Achampon has been clarifying the record. It's all in line with this whole jostling for the leadership positions. With
More clarification.
Yeah, more actually, because Edu Bwahin had contended that it wasn't Brian Achampon's
Bwahin Edu.
idea. Bwahin Edu. It wasn't his idea actually.
I mean, the insight says Brian drowns Edu over cocoa syndication.
Oh, so it's
reform.
also there.
It's also, yes. Global capitalism is exploiting workers and producing inequality, imperialist wars, SFG resolution wars. This is like a Kwesi Pratt story. Government on course to diversifying tertiary education and strengthening TVET. Veep assures Mahama signs Mida as chief coordinator for global grants. Deputy Transport Minister commends GPHA for successful rollout of 24-hour port operations. And Israel's genocidal war in Gaza, Spain considers boycott of 2026 World Cup. Whenever it comes to the 24-hour economy, and you ask, the efficiency analysis that goes into implementation of many of these things, people get angry. But I ask a very simple question. So the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, I know the people who were doing 24 hours initially. Now they say, okay, the whole system, they want to run 24 hours as part of the 24-hour economy. What sort of analysis went into it? Don't we need to see it, for instance? So that we need to understand that if you're going to pay more people to work more, how much is that costing the state and what benefits are we deriving from that? We just don't have to say that, we're going to do a 24-hour economy and that's the end of it. Okay?
Right.
Am I the only one who feels like Guzitando and his team wash a day matcher? I mean, they've been sitting around the table planning this thing for quite some time, and it's all shrouded in secrecy almost. Like, what's the plan?
At least they've been here.
What's the plan? What have you observed? What have you studied? What have you measured scientifically to determine that this is what needs to be done? This is how we're going to do it. What's the plan?
They've talked about what needs to be done. They've talked about how the Volta Lake becomes the main
corridor.
Volta corridor becomes the main area for the 24-hour economy. Now this is
Daben.
But they say by 2026 last quarter you probably would see something. When they were here the last time, that's what they told us. But you see, I've said before, the challenge is that in this part of our world, when people talk about policies and you ask them what is the policy about, they always would wait till they win elections and now begin to draft the policy. So when they win the elections and are now drafting the policy, the things they said in the past, they realize are not feasible. Because look, the 24-hour economy, the whole conversation about, 133. 133. So one job, 3 shifts, one role, 3 shifts, 3 jobs. It's not what you would see. Right? It's not what you would see. Because the truth is that in implementing, even at night, we run 24-hour here. The night shift has less personnel than the day shift.
Precisely.
That's the reality. So it's not so yes, that was the slogan. Slogan, 133, and then it will go through. But the problem is that whenever you ask these people, where is the policy document? They don't show it to you. In fact, the only person who was able to explain 24-hour economy better when the NDC was in the position was John Jinapo. The rest struggled with explaining. People were talking about, even you can get airports in all districts. My goodness.
No, I think that the bane of the policy now is private sector investment or injection, because the
that's what you
seed,
won't get.
well, Winston, let's not say they won't get it.
No,
Let's
you
hope
see-
for it
you see-
actually, because
you
it
see,
ought to work, isn't it?
That's where
Yeah.
the private sector, government thinks about the collective good when it's investing.
Yeah.
The private sector thinks about profits.
Profits.
Yes.
So you don't expect me to go and invest in a thing that I do not think
Yeah.
would yield profits.
Yeah, just so that you can look good because you have a
So you
policy.
see,
But Kojo is a good philanthropist, so
No.
I might support the
no, so you see,
project. isn't it?
so you see, this is
Yeah.
where the government.
Yeah.
I use the 24-hour economy. I use this whole cluster development policy to explain something about the 24-hour economy. When it comes to development of a cluster, they say there should be a sense of cluster. Okay, so when it comes to, for instance, when it comes to Abosilkan, the moment you have spare part dealers coming up, showing up, then you have the banks getting in there to provide services. Then somebody says, how about I go in there and begin the manufacturing of vehicles?
Yeah.
After all, I'll get these parts and stuff to manufacture. There's that sense of a cluster. In the absence of that sense of cluster, then the government must create it. So how do you create it? Do you create it, one, by saying, I'm incentivizing, so I'm going to give you some, affordable loans to go in there.
Or PPP.
I'm going to create the infrastructure that you need
Yeah.
so that when you go there, you'll be able to exist. What is government giving?
Yeah.
If you say, we're going to construct Agbleduo, there'll be farming towns and people would go in there. My guy, you go and come back and meet them there.
It's all in Guzitando's head
Anyway,
at the moment.
we see what
All right.
myjoyonline.com has the story. Mahama backs energy compact as Ghana pledges universal electricity access by 2030. And Tokunu fighting for rule of law, not desperate to stay in office. That's according to counsel for the former Chief Justice. So Kojo, you're proving me right that it's not about earning a keep or just trying to get
It's
some
not
job
about
somewhere.
preserving her benefits. No.
Okay, Ghana backs World Bank-led Mission 300 to end energy poverty by 2030. Good news for us because we're way over 70% in terms of nationwide coverage. So the country appears to be doing well in that regard. 6 West Africans deported to Ghana from US sent to Togo despite legal fight. So that's a story you'd find online at myjoyonline.com. And then there's UCC Council appoints Pro VC Professor Dennis Walanyo Aheto as interim leader. So
Prof. Aheto, congratulations to him.
Yeah. So this whole issue you've been talking about looks like it's come up on myjoyonline.com. Business and Financial Times, electricity tariffs up by 1.14%. We're explaining to you factors accounting for that. Debt, climate, growth strain test West Africa's stability. That's according to the central bank governor. Okay, so what do we have on citynewsroom.com? Sam Jonah says, listen guys, Galamsey fight is impossible without traditional leaders. If it's coming from Sam Jonah, I think I agree with him on this one because we can't leave out the chiefs, is it? We've been focusing too much on the military.
Well, I mean, the truth is that everybody has a role to play, right?
Yeah.
Even us sitting here in the studio, we have a role to play. So I have no doubt that chiefs have a role to play. Sam Jonah is suggesting that really we should pivot our efforts around them. And, they certainly could do a lot more.
Yeah.
They sit by and let a lot happen, which they shouldn't. Let's see if they will step up in this fight.